Okay. So yes, I think you asked the next question, right? What is the question?
When I made my assignment, actually I used table, but then I received a message from Benjamin asking me to remove it, and he said that because it's not used anymore and it's somehow old-fashioned.
Yeah, I got the same. Yeah.
You all get the same?
Yeah. Actually, I used it because it was mentioned in our Khan Academy course, and I wanted to show that I have learned everything.
Yeah, I think it's a very nice question to answer. She asked basically why you were using table and it was not recommended, right? Yeah, that's true. If you look back 10 years ago or more than that, or in the beginning I was using table to structure putting the structure of the HTML, right? And it was the only way to do it. But then thing has changed. We have CSS to control this thing. So now, and also table has some disadvantage. So meaning is that when browser try to execute this information coding, it try to scan the code and then display information. So how about a browser read the code and then also start showing the information? That would be more efficient, right? But if browser read the code everything then show it afterward, then what will happen? It will slow down. So browser had to read everything, then show the information. It will slow down. So table has this disadvantage. So basically, browser understand what the structure is, then render it, then show it, right? So that's why it is not recommended to use table in everywhere, but it is also using. We are using still for some cases, right? There's some exception. There are some places where it has an advantage, but not doing the structure thing, right? We have a left column, right column, not for the column, right? For column, we have a better tag or element to use it, right? Okay. Is that understood, clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have not much time remaining, 1 hour. So we'll try to do the introduction of the CSS in the next hour and then also talk about the homework for a while, okay?
Yeah.
So, and then just to wrap up the HTML thing very quickly, it is pretty basic, just an introduction. We didn't go much, but what we try to learn here, we try to learn what is HTML is, and then what it should have, what the elements, the ingredient it have. It have some tag and then some attribute and then some information we display, right?
I have one question. I cannot understand the purpose of this meta.
This one, okay. Yeah. So to explain this on meta, basically when browser try to read this document, right? It has this information doc type HTML, though it treated as a HTML. Yeah. So if it's treated as HTML, then these tags are known. Okay, but here you can also write this one, right? This special key. Do you know what it is? It's a Danish letter, right? Yeah. So there are different letters for Swedish, Russian, Chinese, all this thing, right? So these letters probably in some case the browser does not know what to interpret this one. So then if you define it this way, the character set. So it is a unified way, and it is a some tag or some standard. So it defines all the character. If you try to read it, and it means that. So basically, is something weird you're writing like this and then like that. So we try. Browser can read it by looking at this standard.
Okay, so this is the format that is declared up at the top. When browser knows that all the characters are included in this.
If they find it, they read it. Otherwise, they ignore it. If there's something is you write something, it can read it. But but this standard has mostly everything in the world right now. So it was to unify. There are different ways you can also write stuff, right? So this one helping to read this information. This one that our content that we show in the home in the internet. This one, right? And then behind this one, right? The structure thing. Yeah. That is defined by this, right? Yeah. Okay, is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, and then we use this to put the structure, right? And also Majid showed that how to see the structure right here. If you go to now I'm introducing the some tool that helpful for us to investigate our code and others code as well, right? And this is a very go-to tool. So if you right click on the browser, you can see inspect, or if it's Mozilla, it's different thing. But basically we call it a dev tool. Developers tool. Okay, if I just do it, and then here you can see a lot of information, a lot of pen here. So if you just look at this one, we will be using these tools much and much in from JavaScript or in everywhere, but not very much in this module. Okay, but just to introduce you, probably we'll be using. So before we use it, let's get introduction to it. So basically, this is our code, right? If you can see it, table, and then see,
Yeah.
browser has added some extra information for us. We didn't write tbody, right? Did we?
No.
Can you see it from the distance there? Is it visible?
Yeah.
Okay, so we didn't write this tbody, right? But browser showing it. Why is that?
It would be maybe a default tag.
It's because of this doc type HTML. So browsers see it's HTML and then smartly introducing that minimum thing is missing there. Try to wrap up with this thing, right? So sometimes it's helping not to break stuff. Okay.
Inspect is not working on my window.
Inspect, yeah. So sometimes this inspect can come to a different window, I think. I don't know.
Is everyone able to see inspect? Yeah.
Control shift, or is it? No. Okay, let's not invest time on the inspect. I will see whose machine is not working later on, okay? So just to introduce you, probably we'll be looking at this one, right? And then the beautiful thing of this one, so here you go, and then probably you can right button, okay? And then you can see edit HTML, okay? Click it here, and then you can also copy other codes from website. Just to prove you I'm right, so let's remove it, everything here. Right? I have removed everything, and then I refresh, and everything is gone, right? I copied, so let's refresh. So I copied from inspect tool, right? And this look like this, okay? And then I refresh, and it's all back. Okay, just to show you how can you use this tool. It's a very minimum thing. It can do a really lot of things, right? Okay. And before we wrap up the HTML thing, I want to use some analogy to explain what is these tags are. So can anyone just tell me why there are different tags, and then why we're using what, and what is the best approach to do it? Should we use div, should we use nav, should we use div, or other head, article? Is there any explanation? Can anyone suggest? My question is, so here we can see body, table, and you also see article, head, footer, right? There are a lot of tags, right? And then what should you use? When should you use what?
Depends on the structure.
Depends on the needs, right? So just to explain this complex thing with a very real life world example, let's imagine, for instance, Lego, right? Do you know Lego? What is Lego is?
Yeah.
What is it? It's a game, right? It's a toy game. And then what it has?
Pieces, different pieces.
Lego has pieces, a block, right? And are this block look similar?
No.
No, it is very different, right? So just try as an example maybe in the internet. So these are like this type of block, right? So let's say these are the one, each of us, one is a tag, right? And then we try to build a house. So let's find yourself, what is the best, right? Try to find yourself and try to read from others. There are a lot of examples, a lot of community. You can see a lot of examples how people are doing it. So there's no one best way to do it, okay? You can always do it in different multiple ways. So just an example, there are a bunch of tags we have, and they keep coming. And then probably if you want to build a house, small house, how about like having a small Lego block like a house? It's much easier, right? Just get one Lego block and then it's a house, then it's nice. But if with this one, then you need to prepare them. You need to base the foundation and do the pillar and do the roof, right? That way. So it's all about like that. Okay, so next time you think about which tag should I use, then find it yourself, right, from the internet. And then also this Lego has a different color, different shapes. These are the properties. These are the attributes. They're the different element you can do. And then also this also has a see, these are the configuration, these dots. So you can like fit in and then you can combine them, right? If it's a bad example, don't focus on that, okay? That's all about this basic about HTML. Now we can jump to the CSS thing. Okay, so
I don't know how long we wanted to talk about the CSS, but I really suggest that we have maybe even like 20 minutes to talk about handing in homework, because it's really important that everyone knows how to do it.
okay,
So, yeah, we
we'll
need
try.
a little bit of time at the end.
Okay.
Just remember that.
Okay, so yeah, she suggested to give us some time for homework. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. So let's talk about the CSS. So definitely, then we don't have that much time. We cannot go very deep. Just to talk briefly, and then also we'll have some exercise to try out. So what is CSS? We had seen in the quiz, right? What is CSS?
Cascading solution.
Okay, so no one made mistake, right? That's nice. So cascade styling sheet, something. So basically, we have a structure here, and we want to improve this structure with something. So the skeleton we have, and then we want to make a human, and then human can have what? More information, like a dress with a colorful stuff, right? So we can start doing it. So basically, use this structure that one you have, and then not use table. For table is not a nice example to do it, but I just do it because to show it the power of tag. How can you use it, and then find the right tag. So use div or anything you feel is you feel comfortable, but then use the CSS to align, like keep this picture left, text right, and also it would be nice if you can give some space in between, right? Now it's like touching each other, right? And also this should look like a bit more beautiful. Maybe have a background, right? And then I'm not giving any introduction to CSS or how do you write it. So I probably want to see how far you can go. So let's try for 10 minutes and try to write some CSS. Find your own way. Also can get help from us. Do something. Do some improvement there. And then after we'll try together. Okay? Yeah.
Can I write it in the same or should
Who doesn't know how
Same.
to make external CSS file and link it to the HTML? Who does know how to make
Who does know?
Doesn't know.
who does know
Yeah.
how to make external CSS file? Okay, fine.
Write this inside the body, not outside.
Oh,
Somewhere.
so I can repeat.
This is the right one, right?
Yeah. It should be
Inside.
Oh,
Try your way. I will try to. It's a nice example to try.
oh yeah, yeah. Now I understood it. It should be inside head.
Make file. File new file. And And the new
I'm
file,
just writing in
when you make a new file, you have to save it directly before you start working. So save it, and we say style.css. Now we go to the HTML.
Should we remove this table?
What would you do now?
This table?
We want to import
Yes,
the
table
CSS
remove.
here. Okay, so if you don't do something, what do you do? We want to import, say import CSS HTML.
Yeah, I think it's really important we have they can actually from but still. Yeah, but no less than that. And I or you could go with I just have to yeah, I ate so much candy today. So much.
Rename the file or rename the reference image. Just click enter now.
CSS. So I have to say what is elements sensitive?
That's working now. We don't use, if we want to use style, we use it just to style inside the shape. So what we do is link. And we write We got it? So you have double HTML. Now you save the page. Open the CSS. Right. Body, background color, it should work.
It's using this browser.
One is the
Yes,
CSS.
it keeps looking at system Explorer.
Can you open the folder for me?
Oh, you mean on the desktop? Yeah.
So this one, this is like this. Usually CSS we don't need just like that because you don't know which the CSS under. So we limit style. Which styles because there's so many styles inside it. So here it's called styles. And this one now it's was deleted from this because we changed the name. So we don't need it. But we say styles. And S.
Okay, I think we have spent the time. So did any of you manage to do it? Do something? Okay. So all you can do, you just open in your browser. I just want to have a look how far you have done. So open in the browser like that. It's not alignment. You didn't manage to do the alignment, right? Okay. Can you open in the browser?
It doesn't work anything.
Okay.
This one? Yeah, just select folder.
Text without image.
Okay. Yeah, it's better. You know, it's nice. Can you open in the browser, please?
Just with this folder. We open the folder because we want to see the file.
You can see that here I put image in table. You can see. But when I am going there, it's not showing it here actually. So it should be here, and then of course it should be logged there. Everything should be here.
One question about the table. Why is it called TH?
You can
There's like TD and TR. There's nothing called TH.
Okay, that's the
Let's see.
reason.
Okay.
You open now.
Can I see your browser? What does it look like?
Can you make the browser?
Did you try to see it?
Just the test.
Okay, then it's still just.
I mean,
Okay, so we can do it together again, okay? So what I've seen, some of you are really good at doing it, and some of you are good progress. That's nice. And there's various way to do it, right? Is there any specific struggle that anyone want to highlight so I can, while I try to cover that one. Anything specific that you see is not, you don't get it? Anything? Anyone? So everybody has the better way of doing it, or no issue, no problem?
No, not all. There are a lot of issues.
Tell me one that you see is important to you.
Like I have removed the tables, so I could not be able to manage the two sections
Okay.
side by side.
Okay. The floating thing, right? Alignment stuff. Okay.
Floating, yes.
Okay, let's do it together. We have only half an hour. I think we try to do the assignment, this one, and then we go to the homework. That not much time left. And then I wanted to introduce you the CSS thing in a different way, like by doing it, not just talking it, right? Let's try to do something together and then learn from there. Okay? So what was our assignment was? Just to put some color and removing the table and then making it same, right? So first thing first, we remove the table, right? And then we had this one. Right? It was like that after removing table. So, and then we should do some write some CSS code, right? And then I saw that everyone actually knows some CSS code, how to write them. So I have seen some of you writing like this one, body something like that, right? So is it okay to write a CSS? So this is a CSS code, right? How does the CSS code look like? CSS code has a unified structure, right? Yeah. So basically, we define what? What is it? What is this part? Selector. So this is the selector where we are targeting, right? We want to do something with this person, with this tag. Imagine a Lego block, right? Imagine something. And then what should we do? What should we want to do?
Give you the property.
We give a property, but what is the impression? To change this as a color, background color, right? So just to define the background color is a unified approach. So basically we have some information between colon. It is always, you can see that. So colon has a left side, colon has a right side, right? And left side is what? Property. And right side?
Value.
Value, exactly. So this is the format we will be using all time, right? So we have some property and then value. So if I do this one, what will happen?
It's not gonna go up.
So the HTML has a body. So body is a container, right? Yeah. So remember that these are containers. 1 container, 2 container, 3 container, everything is a container, right? So this container will change its color by this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the CSS code that way. So if I do save and see, want to see the page, what we will see? The body color should change, right?
Yeah.
Let's do save.
But it should be.
So what happened?
That's it.
It just coming here, right? Why is that?
Because we did not.
Because we have to open that is internal. Just like
Should be
Okay.
So it should be somewhere, right? Not in between, right? First thing first. Why it should be?
It should be in the head section.
Head side, okay.
Opening a script tab.
Can I do it looks like that?
No. Still you need
Style.
Yes. So basically, this is the structure, and then if you want to write a CSS code, there are multiple approaches you can reach out to, right? There are basically 3 approaches. Can one name? What are the 3? Internal CSS, styling, external, and then what? Inline. Inline, exactly. So what is this one? If I write here, internal, and then external.
Writing a file.
I write a different file, but just refer to it, right? Link. And what is inline?
Within the element in the tag.
Yes. Okay. So let's try in a way we try everything possible, right? Let's do internal inline first, then internal, then external. Okay? We try everything, every possible approach, and then in your daily life, in future, you will be using all of them. Okay. Okay. So how to write an internal one? Where? Sorry. Inline. Sorry about that. Inline. So I try to change the body, right? And then I find it in the element here, right? Here I want to change. And I just write this way? No. Sorry about that. Style equal, right? And then here I write it, right? Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone see any error here? Let's say this hour is, this is like a gray, you know? Okay. Any error? I think especially there's some error here. See the red thing, right? It's showing. But
you forgot
semicolon still it will be error. Yeah. Still there's error. Why is that?
Background.
Okay, background. Okay, that's true. Back BSE GR
Yeah, and afterward you should put dash and color.
dash.
Dash after background, yeah, and color. Right.
Okay. Color. Still problem. Why is that?
Gray. It should be green instead of egg.
Okay, this is not error actually. The problem is here. So inline is a special rule when you try to do this styling here. So you are trying to do this styling with what? This element. Then remove this element from it. It's a redundant thing. Okay? So you are always, it's always applicable for this one. So you don't have to do it. So basically I don't need it, right? And then if you're writing on inline, then bracket is not required. Okay? And then is not needed. We remove the bracket, right? See, its arrow is gone. Now it's green, right? There's no red color, right? So let's try it and then save. It's working.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So we will try a couple of inline things, then we will move them to the internal, then we'll do the external, okay? That's the approach. So next thing we try, maybe the color is not showing here. Let's say it's background, we need a gray. It's a nice color, right? To see something happening. And then what do you need here? What next? Probably instead of fixing this name, I think it's interesting to fix the alignment thing because everybody has a struggle with this alignment, right? So what should we do about it?
If we make container, so we can float it.
So sometimes, so we need here, right? We need a two section, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Section, and then so table is a unique way you give a structure, right? And then image is thing. What is div?
Make container.
Division.
Anyone more?
Block element so we can.
Yeah. Something is also again container, right? But just to go to the example that we had Lego thing. So imagine that Lego has a fixed thing. You define a Lego block, it's a fixed size, color. You define it is defined. But how about Play-Doh? Play-Doh. You play with that. You make a shape, right? You make it. You can change. So imagine div is something that you can always convert. It's flexible. You can change it to something. Like if you want that H2 to treat as a div, then it's really wrong. If you want H2 to treat it as a table or div as a table, it's wrong. So div is something that you can also play with them. You can change. You can do a lot of stuff. So div is a generic thing we can use as a container, right? So how about we can have one container for image, another for the remaining. So we can have like this one, right? So we just doing it here. Div. So how many div we need? Two div. Okay. So let's call it here. I will not remove this one just to see the difference, right? Let's keep it there, and then we call it this is the image, and this is the text, right? And then if I do save, and then if I refresh here, and then these are two coming, two different line, right? Why is that? That we mentioned is a block element. So div already has a pre-configured, something to it. So it is a block. So block means one and then go next one. So we can change the behavior, right? So how to change the behavior? We can say right with the CSS, right? So how to write a CSS code? This way. This way we can say float left, and then we can just copy paste similar thing to float right. Let's see. Yeah, it is doing something, but not very great, right? So let's
Yeah, it did.
huh?
It did. The two texts are on image on the other side, and
Yeah, I think let's do some more thing. Probably it will remove our stuff a little bit down. Where is text?
yeah, the two boxes are just separated. One is on the left and one is on the right.
Oh, sorry, right is the right. Okay. Oh, my bad. That's why I couldn't see it. Sorry about that. Okay, maybe this is also a nice trick while you were doing coding. This is called a debugging tool, debugging style. What is it? So we put some additional information. Let's say border. I always use this one. Border is another thing. 1 pixel. You can say solid. You can say red, right? So what it do here?
No, solid spelling was wrong.
Solid spelling was right. Okay. LID, yes, thank you. And then here, okay, it's annoying this text, right? Always try to translate something, right? So why not change something? Always try to translate stuff. Okay, so see what happened here? Can anyone? The image has a border, right?
Yeah.
So what? And then if I just also do the similar thing with this one, copy and then paste. See, it also has a border. So now actually we can see the container. How does it look like? How big is this one and how it is located, right? So these two containers are very small, and then looking and then sitting, two corner, right? But our picture was showing like, let's say this container was taking how much portion of this page? Half or
37.
let's say half is this too big image, or we can say 30% and then 70%, right? Look like this. So how can you do it? Like taking the entire space with some width, right?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Here, right? These two stuff thing, right? So we can write here width what?
30%.
30% like this. Does it work? Okay, let's try. Instead of proving myself correct or wrong, 70%. Yeah, it worked, right? The percentage worked actually, but there's some issue here, right? What is the issue here? Margin is now is still different line. It's not our intention is to the same line. So why it's the problem? Can anyone guess?
It's
The
actually
border we have given 1 pixel to both, so it's exceeding the.
So our entire area is the
100%.
100%. Then we had 30 and 70 on top of it, 1 pixel more. That's risky for us. For instance, then we just change our behavior. Let this person and then maybe 68% just to try out, right? Now it's working. Now it's in one place, right?
Yeah.
Start looking better. So now if we create the lorem text here, probably you'll see how this does it look like. Right? and then we move our image there, right? Instead of this image text. And then here. Help me when when I'm doing mistake, okay? Okay. So something happened, right?
Image size was
What was happened?
The image
image
has
size should be
fixed
150
size.
or something like
Image size.
Image has fixed
Yeah.
width.
Something is wrong, right? See this red color. Can you see the red color here?
Yeah.
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 And then this image is exceeding the
that.
container. This is a container, right? And then it's not complaining it. That's about div. If you put in the table, then table will do what? It will take the the remaining of the it will either expand the div or shrink the image. If you define a 200% or the width of the TD, then it will smaller make the image shrink, and or it take the thing. Then it force the structure. It's beauty. Okay, table. And div has not this one, so we need to fix it. We need to tweak it. We need to change it, right? So now, how can I fix it? Either I increase the size or decrease the image. What's the best? We decided to keep it like 30 and 70, right?
Yeah.
Let's stick to that. So we should fix it the image, right? So what should you do?
150.
150. Then it's best. But see, it has one small problem. What is it?
It's still little bit
Some space still remaining.
yeah.
Probably if it's if I do it this way, 100, then it's much remaining. It's looking ugly. Maybe it's not really nice to have a lot many space in between, right? So how can you fix it?
What if you take off the width?
Huh?
Take off the width.
So if we don't define it, let's say, what will happen? It's taking what? The actual size of the image. How to fix it then?
But auto size.
Auto scaling.
Position.
You can also say 100%.
Okay.
So take 100% of the parent.
Okay.
Okay? So basically it will take 100%. It's not defined how much is that. It will take the 100% of its parent always. So what is the parent of this child? If you just imagine this is inside, the parent is this upper container, right? And also you can treat as an image as a container itself, but it has a different behavior, right? Does it explain? Okay. So now we can also do something. We can go back to the 30% and then 70%, right? And then try. Oh, something wrong. We remove our debugger. So this is our thing that we're helping us to do this one, right? To see how this is working. So now it's not needed. We just remove it. It's an unnecessary thing. Yes, right? Now it's together, right? Side by side. But what I told you before, that we need some, some space between it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how much space I give here, right? How much space I give here, I move it inside. It doesn't matter, right?
Some padding.
So how can I?
Padding.
Padding.
Okay. Let's okay. Padding, border left. No, border is we have removed. The border is gone. So we have only two possibilities to do it.
Padding or margin.
Yes, padding or margin, right?
Guys, did you work with the box model before?
Yeah.
You know what's the box model? No. Okay.
Okay. So this is our div, right? So if this is a container, right, with the red color, we have seen that. So if I do some padding, what will happen? Let's say padding by what? 10 pixel?
10 pixels.
Do you know guys know what is pixel is?
Yeah.
All?
Yeah.
I don't know pixel, then fine. Okay, so if I say 10 pixel, or maybe this one, right? We want to fix this area, for instance, right? Not that one. So if I want to move my text here, right? Let's say it's a 10 pixel.
It's padding inside the content.
If I do margin 10 pixel, what will happen?
It's outside.
Outside
Yeah.
outside containers.
Yeah, let's say I give 10 you know, padding margin. What will happen? What will you see?
It will exceed the container.
So if it's the outside, so now it's like side by side, then maybe it will behave like this.
Overlap.
Come down.
Maybe this will be, both can be solution, right? Either I move the text there or make a outside thing, right? So basically padding is the inside, you shift something, and then if you do it outside, then you try to do it some outside stuff, right? So we try both. What will happen? Can you guys imagine what if I do it? What will happen?
Margin.
It will happen exactly the same with the border thing.
Yeah.
So we have this one is 100%, right? 100%. Now this has taken by 30%. Now it's 70%, right? So if I include 100 plus 70 equal to 100, then if I include this 10, right, it will be exceeding the 100%. Then what will happen? This will definitely come down, right? Then the fix is either I remove the again here and then do the margin, or I just do the padding there. Okay, so you can use the padding here as well. Also, here as well. You decide what to fit in, right? You can say, okay, I have the image is here. Then let's do the padding there, right? So let's try the image and also here both. Okay. Okay.
15 minutes now.
Yeah, 15 minutes. Yes.
No, 15 minutes to finish the class.
Oh. Okay. So you guys okay to extend the class by 15 more minutes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or you are in rush that reach home early? Okay, so let's try this one, then see. Okay, we will talk about this homework later. Okay, because I'm in something middle. If I don't wrap up it, so you don't get what is the basic of the HTML CSS thing, right? Probably
As
this
I
is
said, I have to leave on time. So I will
okay.
just read.
Yeah, it's okay. Thank you.
Supposed to finish.
Yeah. Okay. So one of our mentor will leave because of some schedule issue. Okay. Yes, and definitely homework is important because next day I will not be here, and then she will be here to see the homework. So you should get the homework,
We
properly.
can take the homework first before she leaves, and then take the rest afterwards.
That's probably nice. So would you like to introduce the homework, how to submit, and then what is the homework?
How long time would you have for this?
Okay, let's open the whole area, then you can chip in. Okay.
Yeah, like 15, 20 minutes is a good time.
I think it's a nice idea. So we take the homework first, then we try the finishing this stuff, right? So how many guys have seen this page? I think it's also in the quiz. You've been through the GitHub page, right? So there, I will share the link. You don't have to do now. So HTML, CSS, and then go to the week 1, okay? Week 1, and there is a file called homework. Don't ask question why this file look like and what is what. It's not important. We click on the homework, and then here's the instruction coming in here, right? So this is a lot of information here. So basically here is like some you do some study. So have some popcorn and then watch video or article, some reading material here, right? And then start doing the assignment. So assignment basically is like making a home page for your personal homepage, like a CB. Exactly the format we are doing here. And this also I have tried with the previous class, probably class 5 or something. I don't remember, but there are a lot of images there. So I don't know where is the image. Maybe how to make it. Okay. So here you will be. There's some instruction how to make it. Should be some contact information, picture, and a lot of other things. You need to fill the content and then try to use this tag, some instruction there, and try to use them like CSS properties, padding, margin, which we'll look later on. And there's some guideline how should you write the code, and then the validator will introduce this one later on. And after when you're done, how to hand over the homework. Not in Google, definitely. We should hand over homework in GitHub. and then also share the link in Slack channel. Okay, and this is the instruction, very nice way it described, or probably you can watch the video how to do it. And if you have a question and confusion, you can also ask in the Slack channel. Yes.
I will show them how to do it.
Okay.
That was the
But if we
plan.
do like put all those stuff in GitHub, is that
Can
like
you
public and
finish the
everybody
code
can
and I will do the.
I just want to just do the demo of how to hand in the homework. I think it's really nice. that
If
people
you
see it.
just finish the code, I think.
Yeah, we can always we can do that. So let's introduce this one, and then also definitely the steps is well mentioned here, so they can also look. So we can also do that one. Yeah. Okay. So we will show how to submit the homework. Okay. So there, and then yep, some steps, and then all you done. So basically, you read something and do something and submit to us, right? And what you submit is mentioned here. Yeah. So you want to show it now? Maybe you can do it now, showing the homework.
If you finish your code, I think it's better.
Okay.
Because they will forget where you
Yeah. Is there anything missing about the homework?
It's just showing. I'm confused about the order now.
So he will show this how to submit the homework.
It's better because
Yes,
they will
yeah.
forget the code.
Great, good.
It's okay.
Yes. Okay. So let's continue then, right? This is the homework, and very simple, and I will follow the remaining part. It's not covered. It's just about to happen. Okay. I have seen that one. Okay. Let's skip it. So what we're about to fix something here, right? Okay, we want to give some space, right? What is the decision?
Padding.
Padding to what? Let's try with the image also. So now, how should we write the styling? Inside the element, right?
Yeah.
What is the element? Image, right? Okay, maybe I do it in the paragraph. You do it in the image. Then it'd be nice instead of like me trying. Padding. So if I do padding, what will happen? 10 pixel. Okay, something got broke. Why is that? So maybe somehow this is exceeding the the. Let's try it this way. No. So also try to do this over border. So I'm just putting my debugging code again to see how it's happening. Okay. So here, right? So let's start increasing the size here. 68. It's down. 66. Still down. 65. Something is not working. 60 is the one, maybe. Now we have a border, that's why it's not working. 58. Now it's here. Okay. And why we have this one? This space here? Maybe this div already has a margin, right? Just let's see if it already has a margin. So how do I do it? Like here, margin equal 0. So if there's something there already, reset to 0. Let's try it. Maybe let's try the both div. Margin equal to 0. Oh, it didn't happen anything. How about That's nice.
You can use view with pt3.
Hmm? Okay. Oh, actually, we managed to do something here, right? It was 58, now it's 60. There's something with the margin padding. Let's do 10 pixel here.
I would love to put two paddings inside this div. So first you put paddings here and then put
Yeah.
padding, then
Okay.
pixels. Doesn't one interfere in the other?
Yeah. You should just try to override it.
We will talk about CSS next
Mm.
week, but when we are
Okay.
working with CSS, it's cascading, so that the thing comes in the end, takes place, override that first one.
I definitely made that mistake where I say like background should be pink, and then I say background should be blue, and then it's blue.
Mm.
But we will talk about it.
Okay.
So the last one is more
Okay, so there's something problem we'll try to fix later on, okay? But let's, maybe we put more padding here. Padding left, I guess, right?
So maybe we should spend the last 10 minutes on who's gonna do the demo of how.
So you'll do it now?
I think so.
Okay, so let's do it then. So okay, now we see the how to do the homework, submit the homework, okay? Yeah.
And you can solve this as a homework.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, maybe. Yes, I will submit in this channel, okay?
You can put it on Slack as well. Everything you need, you will find on Slack or GitHub. Why do we use Slack and GitHub? Slack is like Facebook Messenger for developers. In the future, if you want to talk with other developers, we use Slack. Why do we use GitHub? GitHub